Hi BookTube! My name is Sarah and welcome to the Bookish Knitter. Today I am coming to you with another category spotlight video. Apologies in advance. I tried to start filming this with that light off, but it was way too dark in here. It's super cloudy outside. I'm filming this earlier in the morning before I go into the office. So I have to be able to see these books because I'm reading the backs of them to you guys. So I need that light on. So I apologize for any glare you're going to see in my glasses, but it is what it is. Those of us who wear glasses and do BookTube or YouTube videos just kind of need to deal with this kind of thing. You know what I mean? So anyway, Desire. Today we are talking Desire books. I am so excited. I went and hunted and pecked on my shelves and I found 5 books to share with you guys. You're looking at the spines and they all look very, very different. So you guys are going to also see an evolution of the covers in this video as we go through these books. So I'm very excited to share all 5 of these books with you. I have not read all of them. I did have a request from someone in my comments on my last video for a specific author, and I did have one of her books on my shelf, so I thought I'd pull that one out. And yeah, so this is just a small sampling. If you are new to my channel and new to these videos, pretty much I do one of these every week, and it is a very mini bookshelf tour. I'm going through each line individually because it's just easier to kind of keep them together that way. Instead of just picking 5 random books off my shelf, I'm picking 5 books from each line as I go through, and I'm going through them in alphabetical order. So we're now onto the Desire line. Next video will be the duets. I don't have a ton of duets novels, but they are my heart because that's where I got my start with Harlequin, but I will talk about those next week. So yeah, the Desire line is still running. It's still in publication. And yeah, so let me share these 5 books with you guys. So the first one is actually the very first book ever published in the Desire line. I have read this one. I read this one back in 4 years ago, when I did my Harlequin, my 40 Years of Harlequin project for my 40th birthday, where I read a book published every year from 1979 to whatever the year was, and now I can't remember because it's right over my head, because I can't math. It must have been 2019, would be my guess. That's math, right? So book number 1, we have Corporate Affair by Stephanie James. This is actually Jane Ann Krantz, you guys, for those of you who are familiar with that author. And this book was published, I think, originally in 82. Am I right? Is it 82? June of 1982. So when this first book came out. This one you can, I have not checked, but I'm almost certain you can probably find it for the Kindle because she's a very prolific author, very well known, that it wouldn't surprise me if they have gone ahead and republished her stuff, maybe even under a different, maybe even under her name or under a different title, but you might be able to find this one digitally. No guarantees, but definitely if you want to hunt out this original edition because it's such a Desire cover, right? So we have, under Kalinda's cool silk surface was a smoldering heart waiting to be set afire. But the beautiful tycoon hadn't expected the sparks to fly with Rand. Artist and fisherman, the stranger whose caress left her yearning for more. She had come to Colorado determined to avenge a lost love. She had arranged the setup and her ex-fiancé had taken the bait. But she was shaken by Rand's powerful embrace, torn between her passion for revenge and hunger for this lover who conquered her heart, stole her into her world, and proceeded to make it his own. So yeah, so there's the first book, you guys. The very, and I'm really disappointed. There was a bad sticker on the side here. This came to me like this. So when I ordered this off of Thrift Books, it was already this damaged, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Again, I'm kind of loving the fact that I have it. So these are all in order of release date. And again, at some point in the future, it might not be until next spring or next summer, when I circle back around to the Desire line, once I've gone through all of the different lines, I will start back again with the American Romance line and show you guys 5 books from that. And so you will see more Desire books down the line. So this one is number 1148, and it is from June of 98, I want to say. This is the last small book, and this is one of the authors that one of you guys wanted me to pull a book from. This is Hard-to-Tame Texan, and it's from the Keepers of Texas series. I have not read this one yet, but again, you can start to see the evolution of the Desire covers. And yeah, I kind of really love that. I love that history because that's what makes me happy. And this is an old one that it had one of those like inserts that somebody obviously sent away for because there's a hole there. Unless it just popped out at some point. So this is She thought she'd been invited to the Keeper's Texas ranch to do her family a favor, but feisty redhead Joanne was beginning to sense a fix-up. Was she really there to tame cantankerous Andrew, or to be asked to throw caution to the wind and marry the arrogant beast? No little lady was going to make him change his ways, or so Andrew thought, until he got a look at her beauty, at the beauty those blasted keepers had sicked. I can read this morning. I haven't had coffee yet, guys. Sicked on him. With one pout of her pretty lips, Andrew's gruffness disappeared, replaced by a grim determination to make Joanne see him as something other than a challenge, and perhaps a potential groom. It sounds like a Beauty and the Beast, very, very vaguely. It says, the Keepers of Texas. Every book's a keeper in the sexy saga of untamed Texas men and their stubborn beauties who lasso their hearts. So way back then, Desire was very, very focused in a way on doing these kind of Texas ranch cowboy type books, even though now this line, I should have mentioned this at the beginning, this line does get spicy if you cannot tell from these covers and from the descriptions I've already given you guys. These books do get spicy. They are not the most spicy line. That would be Blaze or Dare. But for what's currently being published, these ones definitely are up there in terms of the spice factor. The next one we have is number 1947 from June of 2009. And this is Wyoming Wedding by Sara Orwig. Again, as I was already saying about the cowboys and stuff like that. So clearly this gentleman is a cowboy. Just 2 years of her time. That's all handsome billionaire Matt needed. His proposal seemed perfect on paper, and the promise of passion sizzled between them. But becoming a wife But becoming a wife for hire to a man with a cash register for a heart. Pregnant waitress Brianna had no intention of falling for the workaholic financier, her golden ticket to help her struggling family. Yet beneath his heated kisses, the line between business and pleasure started to blur. So he must need a wife for something, and she's clearly pregnant. I'm assuming it's not his. But yeah, Stetson, this is part of the Stetsons and CEOs series. Making millions was the bet. Finding love was the ultimate bonus. So yeah, so there we go. And I did like this incantation of their covers. You had the Desire up here and then the series, and then they had these. And I really, really liked, let me just kind of focus on that for you guys. I really like that. So it's got the number of the book and then the month and year of publication. And I really like that because what it felt like for me every time I looked at these. So this kind of showed for a few years at least. What I really liked is the fact that it looked almost like a very high class like hotel or condo or apartment complex, and that would have been like the door mark. Do you know what I mean? So kind of that whole behind closed doors scenario. It just felt very on brand for me, and I really, really liked it. Next up, I had to throw a Christmas one in here because 'tis the season. It's coming faster than we want to think about it, you guys. So we have The Boss's Mistletoe Maneuvers by Linda Thomas-Sundstrom. And this is number 2339 from November of 2014. So this one is it's like 8 years old now. 8 years old? Yeah. Gorgeous, gorgeous cover on this one. That sticker was put on by something. It's one that you could peel off, but I'm not going to bother because I don't want to damage the cover. So this is Seduction in a Santa Claus Suit. When millionaire Chaz goes undercover at the ad agency he bought, he has to figure out why his star employee, Kim, won't work on the very important Christmas campaign. He'll go to any length to get answers from the beautiful go-getter. If he has to kiss them out of her, so be it. Kim can't believe Chaz's nerve. So why is she always falling into his arms and into his bed? Soon, this exasperating man unlocks her secrets, just in time for a Christmas she'll never forget, and one he may never live down. So I'm almost certain I've read this one. I know that's horrible. I have to check. I have so many of these at this point. I remember when I bought some boxes of the Harlequin books a while ago, like last summer. I think that the books had been traded amongst a group of friends because in the front cover, inside front cover of each book, somebody had put their initials. I need to start doing that for the physical books that I own, so that way I know if I've read them or not. But that would be kind of fun, right? Like put your initials in the star rating or something, like what you gave it. But I guess you wouldn't want anybody else to see that before they got into the book. But at least to put your initials in there would be a lot of fun. So yeah, so there's that one. Much more CEO, big city kind of story. And last but not least, I cannot not include a Maisey Yates novel. I mean, Desire is kind of her thing, so is Present. She writes for both. But she does the cowboys for Desire, and those are some of my absolute favorites. So here we have The Rancher's Wager by the great Maisey Yates. Look at that cover, you guys. Is that not stunning? Brie and I, back when I was on the podcast, we've always said that the Desire books really feel like grown up, like prom. Like the dresses, like even more so now. You don't see it in the older ones, but more so now, like they're very, very high class, like these beautiful gowns that these women are wearing and what have you. So this, I think, is the third and final book in the Gold Valley Vineyard series. About three sisters. It was an offshot series. So those of you who read a lot of Maisey Yates may have read her Gold Valley series. She has several offshots to that series, and this is one of them that she wrote for the Desire line. So this one is book number 2779, came out in January of 2021. So it's almost 2 years old at this point. But it says on the back, this wealthy rancher has placed his bet and it's winner take all. No one gets under Jackson Cooper's skin like fellow ranch owner Cricket Maxfield. Now facing off at a charity poker game, the stakes get personal. Jackson finds himself on the losing end, and paying up means the ranch hand is being at Cricket's beck and call. In close quarters, tempers flare, and fire between them ignites into a passion that won't be ignored. And I'm pretty sure it's it's an enemies to lovers story. I read the second book in the series. I haven't read the first book. I read the second book, and I need to read this third book. But yeah, it's three sisters. Each book is about a different sister. So yeah, these are really, really good. And again, like, come on with these covers. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. So anyway, guys, that is all that I have for today's video. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below. Have you read any of these books? Do you have any favorite Desire books? Any favorite Desire authors? And next week's video will be on the Duets line, which is the line that has my heart because it was the first line by Harlequin I ever read. So I will be pulling some of those off the shelves to share with you guys next week. So until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys.